And there stood a watchman on the tower of Jezreel, and he spied the company of Jehu as they came. And he said, I see a company. And Joram said, take a horseman and send to meet him, and let them say, is it peace? So there went out on a horseback to meet him, and said, thus says the king, is it peace? And Jehu said, what hast thou to do with peace? Turn in and get behind me. Man, that's raw. Man, that dude was raw, man. I don't know. See, God uses people in the Bible. Man, like Jehu was one of them bad to the bone dudes. He was the one anointed by God to be king of Israel just for a short time to take out Jezebel. Jezebel and all those false prophets of Baal. God anointed Jehu. He anointed a man who was not full of lust and not full of like greed, and he had a righteous desire to see what justice served. See, God will call these type of men up. God called these bold men up like Jehu. Look what he said. When this dude come up, is it peace? They know they've been doing him and his people dirty all this time. Now they know he's coming to serve justice, and they want to know, is it peace? See, that's what people do when they cross you. They want to know, are you coming in peace? Of course. But look, man, look how cold Jehu did it. What is thou to do with peace? Turn in and get behind me. Get behind me before I run you over, bro. And the watchman told, saying, this messenger came unto them, but he cometh not again. Look at that. He's telling Joram, oh look, you know that watchman we sent out to ask, is it peace? He went, but he didn't come back. Then he sent out a second on horseback, which came to them and said, thus says the king, is it peace? And Jehu answered, what hast thou to do with peace? Turn in and get behind me. That's funny, because these people, they listen. This is how cold it let me know how Jehu was. Jehu didn't even play no game. He said, what are you gonna do about peace? Get behind me. And there was no answer to that. They just got behind him. That tells me how intimidating and this man was. This was a scary dude. King Jehu. And he sent out a servant. He said, what is thou to do with peace? Turn in and get behind me. And the watchman told, saying, he came even unto them, and cometh not again. And the driving is like the driving of Jehu, the son of Nimshaba, for he driveth furiously. So they seen him coming on horseback. They knew him by how crazy he rode the horse. They're like, it looks like the driving of Jehu. That's how cold this dude was. And Joram answered, said, make ready. Get the chariots and make them ready. And Joram, king of Israel, went out, each in his chariot, and they went out to Jehu and met him in the portion of the Nabob of Jezreelite. Okay. Wow. Prophecy. And they went out against Jehu to meet him in the portion of Nabob the Jezreelite. They went out to meet. Okay, that's the dude Ahab had killed and took his vineyard. Jezebel and Ahab killed Nabob and took his vineyard. It's crazy. Look at how ironic that they meet up in the same place that this man killed another man and took his land for. How ironic. How ironic the Lord puts these prophecies right before your face. And it came to pass when Joram saw Jehu, he then said, "Is it peace, Jehu?" And he answered, "What peace? So long as thy whoredoms of thy mother Jezebel and all her witchcrafts are so many." Man, this man wasn't playing. He did not play. What peace? All that witchcraft your mom's into? What peace? And Joram turned his hands and fled. So he seen Jehu. He like, okay, it's time to go. I'm out of here. And said, treachery. There's treachery. And Jehu drew his bow with full strength and smote Joram between the arms with an arrow that went out his heart, and he sank down in his chariot. Boy, that's a cold dude. He ain't playing. This is justice at its finest. All this is happening in the same land that they killed a man and took from him. It's justice at its finest. Surely I have seen yesterday the blood of Nabal and the blood of his sons, saith the Lord, and I will requite thee in the plat, said the Lord. Now therefore take and cast him unto the plat of ground according to the word of the Lord. So that was God's word prophesied. So they didn't even let Jehoram die there. They took him out of his chariot and threw him in the land, right there at the land, according to the word of the Lord. But when the king of Judah saw his death, he fled by the way and out of the garden house. And Jehu followed after him and said, "Smite him also with the chariot." And they did.